In the vast, silent deserts of New Mexico, a dark secret lies buried beneath the dry earth. Between 2001 and 2005, nearly a dozen women, many trapped in the harsh world of sex work, were ruthlessly taken from the streets and discarded like refuse in a shallow arroyo bank on the West Mesa, just within Albuquerque city limits. This was a place where the desert met the city's outskirts, an undeveloped stretch of land that became a hidden graveyard. The victims' remains were quietly hidden away, buried under layers of dirt and oblivion, as if the desert itself sought to erase their existence. By 2006, the once isolated desert began to give way to suburban sprawl. Homes and roads crept closer, halting the silent burials that had occurred with disturbing regularity. But in 2008, the housing bubble burst, and development suddenly halted. Left unfinished, the area suffered flooding, forcing the city to construct a retaining wall that redirected stormwater into a nearby retention pond, the very site of the clandestine burials. Over time, this water exposure unearthed what the desert had hidden. Bones began to surface, scattered and weathered. On February 2, 2009, a woman walking her dog stumbled upon these grim remains. What at first appeared to be a simple bone soon spiraled into a chilling discovery that would reveal unimaginable horrors. The victims were identified, young women and girls between 15 and 32, mostly Hispanic, many battling addiction or forced into sex work. Their names, a haunting roll call, include Jamie Barella, Monica Candelaria, Victoria Chavez, Virginia Cloven, Selenia Edwards, Cinnamon Elks, Doreen Marquez, Julie Nieto, Veronica Romero, Evelyn Salazar, and Michelle Valdez. Among them lay a tragic secret, a fetus buried alongside the women, a silent witness to the darkness. Selenia Edwards, the youngest at 15, was also the only African American and the sole victim from out of state, having come from Lawton, Oklahoma. These victims represented lives filled with struggle, often invisible to the world outside their harsh realities. Nearly 2 years after the discovery, authorities released shocking photos of 7 unidentified women suspected to be victims of the so-called West Mesa bone collector. These images, haunting and mysterious, showed women who shared physical traits with the known victims, faces blurred, some appearing unconscious, offering a chilling glimpse into their final moments. Among these faces, 2 women were found alive, their stories possibly holding keys to the unsolved mystery. The investigation soon went beyond the visible violence to explore deeper, darker elements. Officials began questioning if a serial killer lurked behind these murders, or if something even more sinister, a sex trafficking ring, was involved. Several men drew suspicion. Fred Reynolds, a known pimp linked to some of the missing, passed away before charges could surface. Businessman Ron Irwin, whose home was raided in 2010 with thousands of photos seized, was later cleared. Convicted serial killer Scott Lee Kimball also denied any involvement despite investigations. 2 men, however, remain chilling figures in this dark tapestry. Lorenzo Montoya lived less than 3 miles from the burial ground. Trails from his trailer led straight to the site. With violent history towards sex workers, including assault arrests and death threats, his neighbors claim he boasted about killing women on the West Mesa. In 2006, he strangled a teenage sex worker to death before being killed himself by the victim's boyfriend. Intriguingly, the West Mesa murders ceased afterward. Joseph Blee, known as the mid-school rapist for his brutal assaults in the 1980s, emerged as another suspect in 2014. DNA linked him to the scene, and belongings not belonging to his family were found at the site. Though he denies killing, his ominous confession to a cellmate about hiring West Mesa victims sends shivers down the spine. Even as new remains were found near the original site in 2018, they proved ancient, not connected to these tragic murders. The case remains open, cloaked in mystery and heartbreak. Law enforcement continues to push for answers, offering a $100,000 reward to anyone with information that may bring justice to these forgotten women. The West Mesa murders remind us of the shadows lurking in the deserts of New Mexico. Souls silenced too soon, their stories left untold. But the desert remembers, and those who dare to listen may find a way to break this grim silence.